You know, as a knife reviewer, I always get this question. Which is the best knife for me to get? Which is the best knife for me to use? What knife do you recommend? Listen, obviously certain knives are built for certain tasks. But as long as the knife you have in hand checks all the boxes, it's built well, sufficient steel, it's sharp, it's comfortable. Regardless of the price or even the brand, believe it or not, the knife will work for you. The knife will do what you need it to do. To be honest, the question should be, what skillcraft do I need to have or do I need to articulate in order to use the knife correctly? The right skill set is all that really matters. Then any knife you have in hand that checks the boxes will work for you.
Ooh-wee, it is a freaking hot one today, guys. 97, probably real feel about 105. Expecting some torrential downpours a little later, heavy thunderstorms, you know, typical summers in New York. So thanks for joining me. Today I'm bringing you one of the 4 fixed blades that were released from Rose-Rosecraft blades, each from their designers, which are pretty cool. And I gotta tell you, I've been looking forward to kind of isolating certain videos with these knives ever since I kind of introduced it on my beach video when I kind of unveiled them for the first time. All right, guys, so the first one I have here is the F4. It's simply called the F4. This was designed from Hawkins Rose. This is probably my favorite in terms of the blade shape. They're all pretty cool. This is probably my favorite so far. I haven't gotten through all of them yet, but this is the F4 Hawkins Rose, produced from Rose-Rosecraft blades. And I gotta tell you, at this point in time, speaking to at this present time, I did a full review of this. So I do have a complete understanding of what this knife is, what it's capable of. I can classify the knife. I can tell you what it's all about, and what fun is that for me to tell you right now. I'm gonna show you how I came to that conclusion. We're gonna go through a whole full review on it. I carried this thing around for a while. I kind of sheathing and unsheathing. I did all the normal testing, and I'm going to get back to you at the end of the video what I think this knife is and how I can classify it. First thing, guys, because it is a Kydex sheath, it is kind of like a tactical type of knife. I wanted to show you the sheath itself. Now, I changed it to a scout carry. It comes in out of the box as a vertical carry. Now, it's a tech lock system, which I'm a pretty big fan of, and this is actually the good tech lock system where it kind of really just snaps into place really easily, that you don't have to like hit a latch and then lift. This is the best tech lock in terms of simplicity, because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be simple. It's supposed to be a quick on and off. If I can get my belt right. Slide right to place, click into place, and kind of you're ready to go. Okay, use the find the spine, Japanese style, put it right into place, and you're good to go. Now, if you wanted to kind of switch this, that's if you want to kind of engage with it on your right side and be able to have it overhand. But if you want to change this as a scout carry to the other side, if you want to kind of have it to your side this way, be able to engage with it this way, and you're ready to go as well. Again, slide it into place really easily, one-hand operation, snap it out, snap it in, and you're good to go. So, perfect Kydex sheath, has all the MOLLE attachments, very easy to come in and out. It locks up perfectly, not too aggressive, but just enough where you can engage with the knife really easily. Again, use the side, use the spine to kind of find the opening, click into place, and that's it. All right, so guys, let's get into the details of the knife, and I'll let you know what it's all about. So like I said, it's the F4, the specific number is the RCF004, full tank construction, obviously. Hawkins Rose is the designer. It's got a 4-inch 1095 steel, K-clip steel blade. Now let's pause for a second. I love 1095. 1095, I'm a sword guy, so I'm coming with using 1095 and relying on 1095 on my sword steel in terms of the edge retention, the toughness, the resilience, and all that. 1095 is a great, well-rounded steel for a sword, and it's probably even better for a knife, less of a length, more or less. And it's a great steel. 1095 hard carbon steel, I think, are great steels for knives. It does have the black coated finish. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to kind of really see how this knife is going to perform that I'm really curious about. I want to see how the 1095 is going to perform, how it pierces, how the edge retention is, and I really want to know how this black powdered coating is, because I haven't had great experiences in the past with black powdered coatings. I know some of their other knives, which I'm going to compare, which is interesting. Chase Snyder's F1 version has a PVD coating, and this happens to have a black powder coating. So I want to see, after cutting through abrasive materials, cutting through wood and things like that, how the coating holds up, because that's obviously very important to me. Important to a lot of people. Basically want to have a good looking knife after using it. 4 3/4, 4.75 black linen micarta handle. G10 under with a G10 underliner. So beautiful yellow underliners with on top of the micarta. I love how they put the handle together. It's about 8 3/4 inches overall. Like I said, it does have the versatile Kydex sheet system with the tech lock installed, so you can easily get it on and off of your belt. Those are the basic specs. The weight, I didn't weigh the knife, but I'll put it on the screen if anything. But it is basically, and I'll also put in the millimeters of the thickness of the spine as well on the screen. It's not a very heavy knife. It's got good balance. You can see basically what I was doing, the hard downward throws, and I was doing the forefoot drops. For the most part, it landed pretty evenly. It's a very evenly balanced knife. It's not a heavy knife. It's not meant to be a heavy knife. You've got the jimping on the back spine here, which can be a little bit aggressive, which I show you when I was cutting through the wood. But it did stay balanced in the hand for the most part. You can see it was landing right. I was doing the hard downward throws to test out the point, to test out also the coating on the point and the spine, if the coating is going to hold up in doing those types of things. I mean, there is a reason why I do all these tests, guys, to really get my ultimate, to cure my ultimate curiosity as far as if the coating, the knife edge retention, the point, the construction, if it's all going to hold up. Guys, this was hair shaving sharp out of the box. I'm going to show you that a little bit more in the video after I cut some abrasive things and show you how the edge retention held up. But I did the normal cutting, guys, the normal cutting of the paracord rope, all the other normal materials that I cut through, and it cut everything just fine. The cutting geometric is good. It's fine. I don't see anything wrong with it. Is it the best cutting geometric in the world? No. But again, it'll come up to the ultimate conclusion of what I think this knife sums up to be. But it did cut through all the normal characters. The normal material is fine. You can see I did the drag cuts or the pull cuts, the push cuts. Everything kind of handled itself the right way. And it stayed sharp. It stayed sharp, which is great. Now, when I was going into the harder materials, which is that, sandblast hose, which is steel reinforced sandblast hose, extremely hard to cut this material. The only other person on the planet who knows how hard this stuff is to cut is Scared from Quality Boys Outdoors, because he actually sends them to me, and he's been cutting with them for a long time. And he knows and he counts how hard of a material it is to cut. Now, I purposely use the same force and the same strength to cut through the sandblast hose that I do with all knives. It doesn't serve me any purpose to really stress a little bit harder, because I could have probably, you can see, I had a hard time getting through the sandblast hose, but I didn't want to press too hard because I didn't want to do it anything different than I did with other knives that were able to get through in the same pressure. So I try to keep it very controlled, so you know that with the same type of resistance, same type of strength, or the force I'm putting into it, if it's able to get through the sandblast hose. Obviously, many knives get through with no problem, and many knives have a hard time with it. Does it mean that the knife is bad or the knife has a bad cutting geometric? Absolutely not. It's not a heavy knife. There's maybe the center of gravity as far as where you can hold it and get into it. It also had a little bit of pain. Basically, the jimping is a little aggressive in the thumb. If I had gloves on, I wouldn't have any problem. So that kind of hindered me from kind of pushing harder than I would want to, because it is a little bit of aggressive jimping. Does the job, but a little bit more on the aggressive side on the jimping in the back spine. And that's what made me basically stop at a certain point and know that I had to kind of pierce it to finish the job, because I really wanted to use abrasive materials to see how the PVD, or the black powder coating rather, is going to handle going through that steel belted stuff or ceramic belted stuff, whatever the hell this thing is stuffed with. It's pretty aggressive, crazy shit. So you saw I was able to pierce it, able to cut through it, finish the job. And after I did all that cutting and forcing it into that hard rubber material, I went into kind of doing the shaving on the arm, and I saw that it's still pretty shaving sharp. So the edge retention held up until now, and I was able to get, pop up some hairs and get some hairs off the blade. So it is pretty shaving sharp still. So the edge retention is holding up at this point. What do we do now, guys? We want to know if it's going to be good on an outdoor environment as a camp knife or something like that. So we went and we started shaving some wood. Did a fine job. Was able to kind of kindle through everything, able to whittle wood fine. I was able to get some feather sticking done. Again, we're going to conclude at the end what it is. It does a little bushcrafting well. Not the best. It's not the best bushcrafting knife on the planet. It does bushcrafting well. Was able to get through it, get through a lot of the cutting, and I wanted to kind of continue that for a little while because I wanted to see how the edge retention's holding up. That's my major thing that I want to see with this 1095 steel. It's a new steel, a new type of knife that Rose-Rosecraft Blades is producing. Again, if I get to the fifth one, I'll have a conclusion or an assumption of how I think the blade will be. But this is being the first of the Rose-Rosecraft Blades fixed blades that they're producing, the first one I'm reviewing. I wanted to really discover as far as how the 1095 is going to work under the helm, under the Rose-Rosecraft at the helm, under their heat treatment and stuff like that with their OEM. And it did okay. It did fine. It did the job. It did what it needed to do. If need be, if you were in that situation where you had to use this as a camp knife. Then I wanted to try to kind of bang the spine and test the construction, the pins and the screws and the liners, and see if there's anything that would dislodge or maybe would, you know, dare I say, maybe chip the edge or something like that. So I wanted to kind of bang on the spine to make up some notches, a simple V-notch, but I did it with kind of forcing it into the wood. Made some V-notch, finished up the job, okay, shaving it a little bit in place, and I was able to make a V-notch spine, and it's fine. Nothing chipped, nothing bent, the point is fine, everything is okay. The construction is good. I knew that the construction on this knife was pretty good from the get-go, guys. I mean, you know, when you first put a knife in your hand, you know if it's going to be solid or not. You feel it. It's just something about how you feel the knife and how it feels in the hand that if it's going to be comfortable. And again, doing this stuff thus far, the shape and contour of the handle is very good. Very, very comfortable in the hand, good for extra large hands. It's got enough real estate, enough purchase here to be able to hold it very comfortably. The only uncomfort hotspot is just jimping on the top. Other than that, everything felt okay, but it felt just good enough to be able to get whatever I needed to get done. You get a lot of bang for your buck from Rose-Rosecraft Blades, guys. And I'll say that at the very end as well. You get a good handle, you get some good materials on there, and it's comfortable. They design a good knife. They design a good knife that's going to be comfortable in your hand, especially for the asking price of these knives. So yeah, comfort is pretty good. Hot spot on the jimping, but everything is good thus far, and everything stay loose and true. We're going to test the construction a little bit more, guys. Now we're going to basically try to baton, okay? We're going to baton with this knife. Baton fine, guys. I'm not hitting it into, like, you know, 3 inches of knotted wood or anything like that. That's not what this knife is made for. It's not a heavy knife, but I wanted to kind of put some more pressure on the edge and the point, banging the spine, put some pressure on the construction, and to see how this thing is going to hold up. Is it a batoning knife? Obviously not. It's not that type of knife, but if you're in a pinch and you wanted to know if you can do that with this knife, that's why I do it. That's why we do these tests. That's why we cut through the materials that we cut with, and that's why we baton with the knives. There are other knives or other tools you can use to baton if you need to, but if this is all you got, hey, this is all you got. Cutting into heavy materials, guys, cutting into normal materials, edge retention is still holding up. It's still sharp even till this point. It's still a very sharp edge. Very happy with the 1095 thus far. Everything is holding up. But now we're going to go through the steel belt to tire, and that really is a coating killer. A steel belt cutting through a tire is a coating killer. That's exactly what it's. That's exactly what these tests are designed for. To put a lot of pressure on the edge, to see if it's going to get dull, to see if it's going to be able to cut after you do that, and also to put a lot of pressure on the coating of the knife to see if it's going to scratch off or rub off from doing, you know, going into that steel belted hard rubber material. Also, stabbing it, guys, stabbing the knife a million times, which you saw that I was doing. That's, again, putting a lot more pressure on the point to see if I could see the bend, the point roll over or bend over or break off or anything like that. So I was really kind of stabbing it into the tire to see how much pressure I can put onto it to see if anything would happen. And the point did hold up. It held up pretty good. you know. And once I was able to get into it, pierce the tire, cutting through the entire revolution of the tire, guys, which you can see in the video here. I wanted to get as much cutting as possible, as much pressure on the coating, going through the entire revolution of the tire to pretty much cut an entire piece off. To really come to a conclusion as far as how good or how bad or how mediocre, the black coating is on this knife. All right, so at the end of the day, guys, this is the coating. The coating, I'll get a close up here if you can see it. You can see the coating. There is some rub off, some scratch off on the coating. If you can see the spine, if you're able to see the spine and see the point, you can see how you have the metal is showing underneath the black coating. The 1095 is showing. You can see there's a lot of scratches. I actually could put my own scratches in there now that the black powder paint is off. But this is just kind of going through the rubber tire, going through the wood material. You can see that the black coating, the black powder coating is scratching off and is rubbing off, okay? Now that started happening, honestly, when I was even cutting into the wood. It wasn't even just the steel belted stuff. It did start coming off. So it's kind of what I suspected, that the black powder coating would come off. Does that make it a bad knife or killer? No. I mean, that's just basically what you're getting in terms of black powder coating. What you have to worry about, so also if it scratches off enough, you may want to oil the blade because it is high carbon steel underneath. So you want to make sure you don't develop any rust underneath the coating. Or if you feel like it, you could just kind of get, take the coating all off and just have a bare carbon steel blade. And that's probably what most people would do when they have a black powder coating. But that is a pet peeve for me, guys. I don't like the scratches or the black powder coating coming off. I'm really curious to compare this to their other knives, especially, which I'll probably do Chase Narda's next, which has a PVD coating, to see how that PVD coating holds up to the black powder coating. And maybe that's basically where they should go in terms of future renditions with the coating on their knives, especially if they're using 1095. But yes, that's exactly where I wanted to test and where I wanted to show you that the coating did, the black powder coating did definitely come off, which is something that I would prefer not happen, if you guys know me as far as my coatings are concerned. Construction-wise, guys, it's great. It's solid. Nothing is chipping. The edge is great. It's still very freaking sharp. The edge retention on this 1095 and heat tempering, spot on. Cut through the tire really well. Cut through all my materials pretty well. I'm imagining that basically I'm still able to shave arm hairs, and I can see some arm hairs kind of getting shaved, even though I'm pretty damp right now in terms of wetness. But let me see if I can get some to show you here. Yeah, it's definitely shaving. It's shaving some sweat, but it's saving some freaking arm hair coming off too. So it is definitely still pretty damn sharp after all of that abuse and all of that use that I put onto it. All right, guys, so what is this knife and who is it made for? I would say that this knife is a good, well-rounded knife. It's a well-rounded, good fixed blade from Rose-Rosecraft blades. Given the price of around sub $100, I don't know the exact price, it's about 70 bucks or something like that. Given the price point, it is a well-rounded knife. It's a knife that doesn't excel in one particular thing better than others, but does give you a well-rounded experience in working with the knife. It's a good wood cutter, a good camping type of knife. It's something that you can baton with because it's strong enough. It's something that you could do a lot of cutting with because the edge retention is good. It's something that you can do a long range cutting with it, and it'll stay fairly comfortable in your hand, but not too long. So it's something that has limitations into doing everything very well, but has a well-rounded ability to do a lot of things well. That's the best way that I can classify this knife, is as a good, well-rounded fixed blade, especially, guys, considering the price point at sub $100, you got a good 1095 steel that's still pretty damn sharp. So as far as an everyday cutter, this thing will be excellent. If you're not going to any abrasive materials, you'll probably be able to go really far with this knife without needing to sharpen it very, very frequently. Yes, the paint did come off, the black powder coating came off. You may want to just think about that you may want to take this off eventually. But again, if you're not going through some really, really abrasive stuff, I think you should be just fine. So depending on your use and your application, guys, it's a good, well-rounded knife. That's this knife. I may find another use out of other knives that they have in their lineup. I'm going to probably go with the F1 from Chase Narda next, because I really want to see how PVD coating is. But that's my conclusion on this knife. Also a very sharp looking knife. I really like this knife. It's a great knife to kind of keep at your side. It's a nice Kydex sheath that is very convenient to go in and out, very easy deployment and return and stuff like that. So yeah, really happy with the experience. Good looking knife, well-rounded knife, a good quality knife, and with it in the hands of a good skilled knife person, this knife will do fine and it'll do well. And you know what? Sub $100, who's the wiser? Like what I'm seeing from Rose-Rosecraft Blades, Fixed Blades so far. There's another 3 coming. We'll get those to you. But so far, not a bad bang for the buck from Rose-Rosecraft Blades with the first of 4 fixed blades. This is the F1 from Hawkins Rose. Hawkins, you did a great job. Great knife. Black powder coating, now you want to think about basically PVD. But we'll see how that works out in the next one. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Joe Steele. And I'll see you when I see you in the next Sword and Knife review. It's summer, guys. Stay cool and stay dry. Have a good one, guys. Be safe.